Ernesto. So if you're keeping up on that topic, go check it out. It was a good conversation. We talked about so many things that I probably wouldn't have gotten to like just by myself. So but I was good. I made a list and we pretty much made it through our whole entire list because sometimes, you can just, especially with someone who you can talk to pretty easily, it's easy to like get off track and then not stay on topic. So I made us a little list and we got through everything. I feel like we covered a lot of ground. So if that is a topic that you're interested in, go check it out. And then I linked her channel. So go check her out, give her a follow, and see what is going on over there because sis is a lot of fun. Um, let's talk about this sis who needs some help real quick, and then maybe we'll go over to Keisha's. I don't know. I was thinking, I'm waiting. So let me talk about Keisha real quick, which I checked yesterday. I have not checked today yet. Good morning, Tony. How are you? I was waiting to see if she filed her response to the credit card company. I was watching one of her videos and she was talking about credit and she was sitting doing a little sit down chat with me. Yeah, I think we need to talk about that one because ma'am was sitting and talking about credit. And I'm thinking to myself, sis, you got a whole lawsuit right now for $1,000 worth, excuse me, for over $3,000 of outstanding credit. And it's only, they've, I guess, chopped it down to $1,000 and you are in active, like they filed a whole civil action on you and you're telling everybody that they're wrong. So someone commented to her and told her that she should just watch what she's doing while she's purchasing a home. I don't know why people would bother to even do that. Like, she's just not the type, right? Okay. So she goes into this whole thing about how they're wrong and she's right. But the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, sis, you've got a civil action against you right now for a damn whole credit card. And you want to sell people your credit repair business. If your credit repair business was so amazing, why didn't you make that shit disappear? Or or on top of the fact, if your pockets are so deep, why don't you cut a check and make the whole thing go away? How about that? That's all I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that makes too much sense, but she might just be too busy with her stalker case. I don't know if she's the only YouTuber at this moment right now that has two active cases in full. Well, no, she would not. Is she the well, Nesto's not a YouTuber. Sis is a YouTuber with two active cases. One stalker case in Judge Manning's court for a temporary restraining order revolving around the open house, and then some credit card business that she has not been handling. So it's just a mess. Anyway, we will talk about that. Let's get into this. I feel like there's two that we can talk about very quickly. It's so funny that the short letters always seem to take a long time. But let's talk about this real quick. Let me see if I can find my dear Fran. Hi Mastermind, I see you, boo boo. Yes, it's the Fulton County connection. Let me see. Where is my dear Fran? I've got a problem. Ooh. Let's see. Well, we know this guy has a problem. Okay. Okay, is this it? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Where is dear? I guess I always forget it's in Daddy Gone. Okay, here we go. Dear Fran. Dear Fran, I recently was married dated 10 years, married 1 year. We wanted to start a family and was informed after many tests my husband cannot have kids. I really want to be a mom. I can tell I'm becoming more and more bitter. At year one, should I already consider exiting the building? FYI, IVF and adoption is definitely outside the budget at the moment. Your opinion would be awesome. Okay. Guys, that is straight to the point. Sis is in she's in a situation. Okay. It doesn't, I mean, look, sometimes, I mean, I'm gonna go all the way back. Um, Let me tell you something. That dating for 10 years thing, that's a mother sucker. Okay. That's a mother sucker, and you might just be bitter from that. Ghost BX says adopt. I think saying adopt is easier said than done, because, and there's plenty of people, there could be people in this live right now who were adopted and know that there's so much value in adopting, and there's kids that need wonderful, stable homes and good parents and all that, but everybody doesn't want to adopt. They just don't. And every kid is not guaranteed to come plug and play. And by that, I mean, there are kids with disabilities that people don't want to necessarily have to deal with. There are kids who've got issues. There are people seem to think that when they have a kid out of their vagina, they're going to be perfect. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Everybody doesn't want to adopt. Foster kids, can be a great option too, but people don't want that flexible home situation where you might have someone who can't be permanently placed. I mean, it's on some, I don't know what to tell sis. Like, I'm going to go back to, so you can't have kids, and that is the reason why you're going to break up with your husband. I always go back to, guys, I'm not hearing anything about love. I recently was married, dated 10 years, married 1 year. So you guys have been together for 11 years. And I'm assuming this is the first that y'all have been trying to have kids, or you guys just thought that you guys had the magic fairy dust of not getting pregnant the whole 10 years that y'all were doing your thing, right? So you've been married a year. We wanted to start a family and was informed after many tests my husband cannot have kids. That's kind of a blow. Um I really want to be a mom. I mean, it sounds like she wants to be a mom more than she wants to be a wife. I can tell I'm becoming more and more bitter. She wants a kid. She's willing to forego the marriage to get out and exercise her options at being a mother. So finding another man, um, obviously, I guess their jobs, their insurance, some jobs will help you through the process. The insurance includes maybe a couple of rounds of IVF or fertility assistance. Also, because some companies have expanded their offerings for their, not just specifically for LGBTQ, but in terms of LGBTQ people who want to have children. um there are very progressive companies like Apple and Disney and whatever who have added to their benefits to help infertility, to help not just infertility, but help in the fertility process specifically. um it's a benefit for everyone, but they, IVF, all of the things. So and or adoption is definitely outside of the budget. They don't want to adopt. So I don't know if they mean adopt as in with, adoption can be so many different things. I don't know. It just sounds like sis is not really trying to be there. Um, this is what I would say. You If you're listening, Let me just check and see. Hold on. Let me see if they left put an email address. They said they'll be listening. Okay. This is what I say. You need to do a check, like do a self check if you even love this man. If you don't love this man to ride the rest of this thing out with him to 80 years old, and you feel like your life is not going to be fulfilled without children, then you need to go. There's no point. There's no point in being there. If he can't have kids and part of your life's journey and mission is going to be is being a mother, and being a mother means carrying a child for you, um and it's important, then and you aren't in love with him enough to make that sacrifice of not being a mother to stay married to this guy. She said, this is what it says. This is very short. I was recently married, dated 10 years, married one. We wanted to start a family and was informed after many tests my husband cannot have kids. I really want to be a mom. I can tell I'm becoming more and more bitter. At year one, should I already consider exiting the building? FYI, IVF and or adoption is definitely outside the budget at the moment. Your opinions. So I don't know what they mean adoption. So maybe there are private adoption agencies that are expensive, um, where people are wanting to basically give up a newborn. Fostering, Jen said fostering, some people don't want that because those kids can end up potentially going back with the parents, and then you also don't, you know, it's there's beautiful, wonderful children who are available for adoption, but doesn't mean that they are going to get a carefree situation. Doesn't help them. Some companies have those benefits, some companies have just the basics. Like there's companies out here, you can go get your breast augmentation, you can go get your vertical sleeve, you can get it just about every damn thing done. Um and there's some insurance that's horrible, that basically you're just getting your physicals and your teeth cleaning, okay? I'm sure anybody and everybody can attest to this online at this moment. Everyone's insurance is not 5 star, right? Um so I look, all I'm going to say, I'm not saying pack up and leave your husband, but what I'm saying is if you don't love him, let him go. Um it just doesn't sound like she wants to be that she wanted a family with this guy and he can't provide one and she's already considering leaving. It just doesn't sound like she's also dating someone for 10 years and then being married is two different things, and it's quite possible that dating for 10 years had taken a toll, and 1 year in and there's no kids and there's nothing else to look forward to and you're pretty much kind of married and nothing else to look forward to, sounds like she's out. I mean, I'm not saying leave. That's not exactly what I'm saying, but it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like you want to stay. And it sounds like you would not be, if you're starting to be bitter because your husband can't give you kids. I know. So you guys, so to whomever, people are saying sperm donor. So if there's no IVF and they can't pay for a fertility clinic, how's the sperm donation? I guess with how people do it with a turkey baster and all those things, the unclinical way. Um, it seems like she's already checked out Sonia's edges, right? Absolutely. That's all I'm saying. I'm not, it just sounds like, sis, you just need some co-signing. And what I'm saying is, if you are already writing your online bestie to find out what we think, it just doesn't sound like you love them. So I would do a self check and make sure that you're where you want to be. And if just understand that the grass isn't always greener, and you might get what you want and you might have a horrible new husband. I don't know what to tell you, sis. But it does sound like you've already checked out. Insurance is definitely not 5-star or cookie cutter. No, insurance plans vary by company, and companies, large companies, very high profile companies sometimes have excellent benefits. And then as you get to smaller, mid-sized companies, they're just covering the basics. They're covering hospital, they're covering wellness, and there's still high deductibles, all of those things. There are some companies out there that are, you know, um best in class and have absolutely amazing benefit packages, but it's, you're gonna have to be working for one of those companies, okay? And it doesn't sound like your company is offering all of that. Do it needs to get do what need to not have regrets later in life. Absolutely. I think that the long dating, like 10 years dating someone, is not for the faint of heart. And that's a long time to devote in a relationship with someone. And then you get married and you have an expectation of something and find out that it's wah wah, you know. I don't that's a tough place to be. My best advice is you need to self check. And if you don't love him and you're like, you know what, I'm good. This relationship has run its course. We've done everything that we could do in these 11 years. And the thing I want to do most, I cannot do with you. And I am totally okay not doing it with you and letting you be wonderful for someone else. Then sis, you got your decision. I don't know what else to tell you. I think that's definitely a very big girl decision, and that's not an easy one. So be super duper considerate with this, because if you walk away, he may hate you. So that's plain and simple. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We have another one or two, and then we're going to get into a quick reaction. Just a second. Let's get to um, some people just don't give a lot of experience. Okay. Okay, we're going to skip this one. This one's kind of a work related question, but a lot of you guys are at work right now. So do you guys want a work related question? Um, do you guys want let's see what you guys want a work related one. You guys like the work related questions. It's so funny. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Thank you, Ghost BX. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Okay. Dear Fran, I have an HR question. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, dear Fran, have an HR question. I've been on my job nearly 2 years. It's in the field I worked in 20 years ago, moved to an adjacent field, and decided to return. When I applied, there was a posting for an account manager and account support, and the different job descriptions. Okay, because I was out of the field so long, I applied for the support position. The manager position was never filled. There is a significant compensation difference between the two. During the course of my employment, many of my responsibilities fell under the manager job description. How do I approach management about increasing my pay? I've not had a review or pay increase since I started. I should mention it's a small company with less than 10 employees. Sis, I'm going to tell you, unless my gut, knowing what I know in doing TA for 20 years, ma'am, you going to have to pack up and go, sis, okay? I've been on my job for 2 years. It's in a field I worked in 20 years ago. So you've been in the job for 2 years. Your experience is from another lifetime. Okay. You moved into an adjacent field, so maybe something related. And then you decided to return back, directly into this field, whatever it is. When I applied, there was a posting for an account manager and account support. And they're two different job descriptions. Okay. So the account manager, obviously, and account support. So account support is going to probably be more administrative, more operational. Account manager is probably going to be dealing directly with the customers and maybe, I don't know, maybe making some decisions about how things are happening, not happening, all of those things. But definitely, um, because I was out in the field so long, I applied for the support position. I don't know. Okay. The manager position was never filled. So the account manager position, not manager like people leader or something. There is a significant compensation difference between the two. The account manager may even make commission. They may have a different pay structure, right? During the course of my employment, many of my responsibilities fell under the manager job description. So basically, what they're saying is, I've been doing the account manager job, even though I was account support. How do I approach management about increasing my pay? How about, okay, is it Stefania? Thank you so much, Stefania. I appreciate you. Thank you for making it official. Um, how do I approach management about increasing my pay? So you want to get paid more for what you're doing, and you're okay with not upgrading your title. I mean, look, you're in a 10-person company. I mean, I hate to say it. Um, I should do HR Fridays. Um, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Um, I hate to say, a 10-person company, sis, unless you are working, and I'm not trying to be facetious, but a 10-person company, in my mind, it could be so many different type of 10-person companies. It could be a 10-person company where the guys are showing up in Ferraris and they have plenty of money. And it's like, oh, you want such and such? Okay. I mean, yeah, you're valuable to us. We'll pay you what you like. We don't want you to go. Or you could be at mom and pop cheap ass. We're gonna work the shit out of you, and this is your pay, and we're not subject to the rules and regulations of company down the street with 2,000 employees, and we don't have it in the budget right now. Like, um, I don't know what to tell you, sis, because I'm not sure what type of company you work for. The fact that it's 10 employees does tell me something, but it could be 10 employees, mini itty bitty tech startup that's making some money. It could be itty bitty held together by band-aids. You know what I'm saying? Um, if there were two positions and you lowballed it and applied for the job that you felt most qualified for, that you would be able to bank, I would say you stand a better chance at asking for a title change and a pay increase along with it rather than just asking for more money. Um, you could talk to them about and have a list of accomplishments in the past 2 years, what you've done, how you have grown the position, how basically you are in essence doing the account manager role without the title, and that you would like to be able to assume that role because your position has kind of morphed into, from account support to an account manager, and maybe give the evidence to support why you are in that role. But it is very hard to get money out of companies. It just is. I'm going to be really honest. It's hard to get money. It is. Sometimes people get money when they are handing a resignation letter, which is not the best strategy, but oftentimes they take for granted labor and that's just what it is. It's not to discount you as a person, but it is a cost of doing business. It is a cost center, not a revenue generator. You, as account support, are a cost center. An account manager is a revenue generator in theory because they're usually doing things to grow accounts. If you are operating more as an account manager, you need to deliver the details as to why. And I would think that you might be more successful approaching it from a standpoint of this is the job that I'm actually doing, right? Versus I want more money. Because if they throw you $1, are you going to be happy? If they throw you $2, are you going to be happy? If they don't change your structure to the structure of the account manager, you're not going to be making the money that you're supposed to be making, and you're going to still feel some type of way. I would also sidebar, always keep your LinkedIn up to date. Always be actively available for a nice time lunch chat with a recruiter just to stay current on what you're currently doing. Also, get rid of the thought process in your mind that you are not qualified or less qualified because you took a 20-year detour into something else, even though you're bringing back relatable skills. Because if you want to discount you, trust and believe what I'm going to tell you as a recruiter is that if you have 22 years of experience but you are discounting it because you went to another, you were in tech and then you went to telecom, and you think it's two different fields. I just think that sometimes when people are job hunting, they know that they're qualified for a job, but people often think of the reasons why they shouldn't get what they should get, or why they are less qualified and how they can fit into something, or they lowball for the job that they know that they can get, but they don't apply to the job that they would love to be in. And then they feel some type of way because they somehow fall into doing it anyway, and you're not getting paid for it. Like, we got to stop doing that. Sometimes you have to be prepared to not get offered a position. Um, I would apply high and let them say, you know what? Um, you may not, I mean, I've had to talk to people many occasions where maybe they applied for a certain role, and then and they would be, so if you have a scope in a role where maybe someone coming in, they are a new, they would be a like, let's just say they're a new hire, they are new in they're relatively less, they're 1 to 2 years of experience versus someone who may have 7 years of experience, right? You may be able to hire them in a junior role or a less senior role that is available, or you may have a manager who says, you know what, I'll scale back this particular job. um in smaller companies, you have more leeway. In large corporate environments, you can't really, I mean, they do retrofit positions sometimes to match the person. But sometimes the position is what it is that was posted, because technically, if you change a job just to hire a person, um, then you need to start the whole recruiting process all over again, especially in larger companies, because you need to have a very fair, visible hiring process. That's a whole nother technicality. But my point is that don't lowball just to secure a job when you might not be securing the bag that you really, really want. And then you're going to feel some type of way. And then you're kind of like stuck, or you feel stuck, or you made a mistake. There's people that make mistakes leaving a decent job because they wanted to get a foot in the door somewhere, but that foot in the door, they don't have plans for you other than for you to be right where you're at. Okay. So you have to be very, very careful the moves that you make, unless it's I just need a job. If you're in a I just need a job moment, then just understand that's where you're at. And so, just like I'm saying to this person, number one, I would come with to the approach that you're already doing this job, and the account manager, there's a need there because I'm already doing it. I would just be prepared that if you don't get what you want, that it's not a progressive company. They're okay with keeping you where you're at. They're getting a big bang for their buck because they know you're a hard worker and all of that, and they're not going to take all of that into consideration. Then just be ready to suck it up and start looking for another job, because a 10 employee company may not be where your future is. Like, I would not bank on a future. Do they even offer you a 401k, a 410k? I'm just kidding. Do they even offer you like decent benefits and all of those things? So I would just keep my options open, sis. You've been there for 2 years. It might just be time to go. And don't make a big deal out of it. Just keep it real cool and cute. That way, when it's time to go, you can just let them know you're out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my best advice. Me personally, I've been promoted over my career. I got promoted a lot when I was in my 30s and my early 40s and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you this. At a certain point in my life, I stopped doing what I felt like I needed, what I knew needed to be done to elevate. I was okay with just doing my job and doing my job very well. There was a lot of peace in that for me, that I did not have the desire to really elevate up the structure anymore. I wanted to just be in my job and do my job well and be able to go home, take care of my kid, take care of my husband, and do what I needed to do, right? And get paid very well too on top of it. But um, if your desire is different from that, you've got to go to play. You've got to be working with companies that are of that same mindset and provide those career tracks. You cannot, you know what I mean? A 10-person company, no offense. And it could be the next Apple computers, no lie. That's what I'm saying. You got to read the room. If you're at mom and pop's dead end plastic company, sis, run. Okay. If you are at the newest, the hottest, and they are growing at some sort of boutique firm, and within a certain, like, they're growing and it's just a matter of time, then read the situation and handle it accordingly. But you got to always have plan B, because even if they are going to be the newest, whatever, doesn't mean that they look at you that way. Okay. Um, I've Let me tell you something. You might do a great job in your job, but let's face it, there are companies where, look, we're not going to get into all of that, but people have biases. People have ideas of what they want their teams to look like, and what they want to bring to the table. If you are a great operations person, they may not see you as a salesperson, because a true salesperson or account manager probably wouldn't apply for a operations role. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes, if we're doing like a TA evaluation, say I've got 25 resumes, and you have someone who's applying for a sales role, they don't have any experience, you're more likely to get that job than someone who's been a sales executive because it's like, you're a sales executive, why are you applying for this account manager role? Like, what's going on here? Why are you downgrading? um People are going to scrutinize your decisions for what you're applying for and what you opt in to do, because it's going to lend to the overall the overall personality fit, what they think is going to be good. Why would someone apply for this when their experience is that? Or why are they downgrading? Where do we see the experience? Those kind of things. Even before an interview, there's lots of assumptions made. So I don't know what to tell you, sis. They may feel like you didn't apply for that role. Why would I put you in that role now? Even though you're doing it, you're still operations. Some people will maybe always see you as operations. They may not see you as a segue into sales. They just might not. So that's why I always say have plan B, because the new company, the next place that you go, may you have the opportunity to come in and provide the optics and be who you want them to see you as rather than what you fell in there as. Okay. So I don't know if that really answers your question. How do you approach asking them for more money? You could just go in and ask for a raise, be prepared to hear it's not time. You can go in there and ask for an upgrade in your position, which should come with a raise. Do not agree to an upgrade in title and sacrifice pay unless you already know you're out the damn door. If you're out the damn door, but you want that title, then just take it. Take it and don't be mad. Whatever you do when you show up to work, understand that on Friday, you're getting a check and it's to fund your lifestyle. Okay. Do not put yourself in a position where that revenue source goes away. All right. And third, be looking. Always be looking. So that's my best advice to you when you're in your prime working years. Always have your ears open and have a great recruiter or companies that you're looking at, your wish list of companies, and always be aware of what they're doing, the positions that they have available, and know exactly how to get in there quickly to tag your name to those jobs, because sometimes the trajectory of your career is going to happen manually rather than people tapping you on the shoulder. Everybody doesn't have the tap you on the shoulder promotion experience. Everyone's not coming and saying, "Oh, so and so, we want you to do this, that, and the third." Sometimes your elevation in your career is going to come by you taking control and knowing what's available in your company and what's available down the street and handling that business. That's it. And I'm sure all of you know people that have done that. You got that's in and they've gotten places. They've gotten those vice president titles. They've gotten those senior manager titles. They have gotten, but they had to make those moves manually. So there, and everybody doesn't have that. Oh, Bria, we love you. There's a position we want you to apply to. And in 2024, that is really almost frowned upon. The good old boy network, the tapping on the shoulders, the larger the environment. I mean, there are times where your manager might tell you, "Hey, such and such is open if you're interested in applying." That's the very subtle way of telling you, "Apply for the job. We really want you for it." Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could go on and on and on, but yeah, designated HR day, sure. If that's what you guys want to do, talk about career stuff like that. Send me more questions. Get into that, dear Fran, and send me some more questions. I love answering. I love answering work related, career, family, all of that. So get into Dear Fran. I will have the link in the description box. And I'll put this portion of the video in the Dear Fran folder for any of you guys. And make sure to comment down below and let me know what your opinions are, what you think, what you would do, all of those things. But yeah, that's a tough position to be in. Anyway, guys, okay, let's move along. We're gonna go over and go see what the sis is talking about. I don't know. Are we gonna watch? We'll see if we'll watch the whole video. I mean, we'll check her out for a minute. Okay, let's. All right, let's move. Let's move along. Okay, Kesha in these wig videos, my goodness. Is this the video where she Okay, something else, you guys, I did see this video. A sis brought it to my attention and okay, yes, this is the one. Okay. We might